Hello, everyone, and welcome to BodyBags. I'll be your reviewer for today. I'm Lonnie from Tats. And before I get started on the movie review, I was just wondering if maybe if we could all of us take a minute to just send some words of encouragement and some best wishes and positive thoughts, prayers, feelings, and everything to two of our reviewers, Rob and Sam, our Wednesday and Thursday night reviewers. Right now, they're living in Georgia, and there's the Hurricane Helene is basically they're in the path of the hurricane, and hopefully if we could just maybe take some time to just send some best wishes that they make it through this and everything will be okay, and their family will just some thoughts and prayers and best wishes, and just some kind words of encouragement for Rob, Sam, and their family. And so yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Well, you've been watching the videos this week. We've been doing reviews for remakes. And yeah, this is one. I never thought I was actually going to review this one on the channel. I reviewed some of the other Chainsaw Massacre movies before, but the one I'm talking about today, of course, is the 2003 remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, produced by Michael Bay and Platinum Dunes, and starring Jessica Biel and Eric Balfour, the late great Ermey, and yeah, I mean, just you know, this honestly is a genuinely good remake, and I really do enjoy this film. Now, I'm going to be honest, like years back, I remember when word first came out that there was going to be a remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I hated it. I hated just the very idea of it. I did not want this movie remade. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like one of my absolute all-time favorite horror movies. It's a movie like anytime it's on, I got to stop and watch it. I adore the movie tremendously. Sadly, I don't have the $300+ to buy the new 50th anniversary box set, in the with the collectible chainsaw that Dark Sky Films is putting out. But sorry, I ain't got the dough for that. So as much as I love the movie, unfortunately, like man, it's not. I don't love it enough for $300 or $300+. But anyway, but anyway, yeah. When I first heard that there was going to be a remake, I wasn't happy about it. But then the trailers came out, started looking pretty promising, and also too, hearing Jessica Biel was going to be in it, and just kind of like, okay, well, whatever. But but then the day came, and the movie came out on DVD, and I watched it, and I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. The story is it's similar in a way to the original film, but it has some takes some twists and turns and stuff. You got Erin, played by Jessica Biel, and her boyfriend Kemper, played by Eric Balfour. Andy, their friend Morgan, and Andy's kind of I don't know if I go so far to call her like a girlfriend, but more kind of like a hookup. Pepper, played by Eric Leerhsen, who you'll remember from Wrong Turn 2, Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2, and other films. I forget, but so anyway, they're driving through Texas, and they just came back from Mexico, and they're on their way to they're on their way to a Leonard Skinner concert, and en route they come across this disheveled woman walking in the middle of the road, and it turns out that the young girl, is actually played by Lauren German, who you might remember from Hostel Part 2, and played one of my absolute favorite characters on TV. She played Detective Chloe Decker on the TV series Lucifer, and not only is Lauren German easily one of the most drop dead gorgeous women alive, but she is a genuinely good actress. And I think if there really was a big complaint about that I have about this movie, is that she's only in the movie for just maybe 5 minutes, if that. So they pick her up, and she's crying, and and she sees that like they're driving through this town, and she starts to freak out, and she's like, no, I can't go back there, and she pulls a gun. I'm not gonna tell you where she hides it. No, if you're watching this, chances are you've already seen the movie, so you know where she pulls the gun from. But anyway, so she pulls out a gun and she tells them all, "You're all going to die," and she shoots herself. And so, of course, there, are five, kids in the van are really freaked out by this. So they go to, the nearest town, and they're trying to get a hold of a sheriff, a cop, somebody to help them out. And so the lady running the shop tells them to go to the old Crawford Mill. And so they go to the mill, and they come across this kid Jebediah, and one by one they start wandering off trying to find the sheriff. And the sheriff does eventually come, and he's Sheriff Hoyt, played by the amazing Ermey. And that was the thing. I'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, they start going towards this house, and one by one they're picked off by Leatherface. And so of course they have to try to survive. Yeah, that's pretty much the movie in a nutshell. I'm not going to give away too much more. But I very much enjoy this film. This was a remake. Maybe it was because I went into this with just the worst expectations. And I mean, especially, you got to remember, this too came after Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation, which really. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, it's a well-made film, and and I think one thing that really, really helped was reading the interviews and stuff in Fangoria about it, and just watching the bonus features when I had the back in the day I had the 2 disc DVD set, and this does have all the bonus features on there and stuff, but watching the making of it. And one thing that really, really helps this movie in terms of just it being a genuinely good remake is the fact that when you watch the documentary about the making of the movie, it's clear that everybody involved with this film, from Michael Bay, the producer, Brad Fuller, Andrew Form, the cast, the crew, like everybody associated with this movie really really loved and respected the original film, and they honored the source material. They did not want to ruin it. They did not want to tread on it or crap on it or anything like that. They wanted to make a movie that they knew they were never going to make a movie that was going to ever beat the original. They just wanted to make a movie that was an honorable follow-up to it, and in my opinion, they definitely succeeded with this. It was really a coup that they got Daniel Pearl, the cinematographer, who shot the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, to come back and shoot this movie. It looks great. I know that they originally, Marcus Nispel, he was very impressed with the original movie's kind of almost documentary feel, that kind of you are there feeling. And so even though it didn't work out, he really wanted to try to do this as like a snuff film at first, but it just kind of like, just seeing the dailies and stuff, this isn't going to pan out. We're going to have to, just do it as a film. But that's not a bad thing. The cast is, genuinely good. I know, Jessica Biel, she's, mostly she's known for, like her television work, like Seventh Heaven, things like this. But, she is an incredibly likable female lead. Even though in some instances her character is wrong, ultimately she is a good person and she's trying to do the right thing. Unfortunately, it does kind of lead to the death of her friends. But, she means well. She's not a horrible person or anything like that. The other cast do a really good job. I particularly liked Mike Vogel as Andy. I thought he was a really good, likable character. But Kemper, Aaron's boyfriend, in the beginning he seems kind of like a skeezy dude, because because they come back from Mexico and he was trying to smuggle drugs so he could sell them. But you realize the only reason he was doing that was because he loved Erin so much, and he wanted to marry her, and he wanted to give her a good life, and to him, he felt this was the way of achieving that, you know. So you realize like Kemper really was a good guy, and you know all the characters for the most part are good characters, you know. Now as far as the villains go, now I will say, you know, Andrew Bernarski does do a great job of playing Leatherface, and his take on Leatherface is slightly different than the original. Everybody knows, you know, in the original Chainsaw Massacre, even though Leatherface was the most dangerous character, he was like the most frightened character, and a lot of what he was doing was mostly just trying to defend himself, defend his home, and you know, whereas in this one, Bernarski plays Leatherface with just more ferociousness, and he's just a full blown all out just, you know, evil murderer, and that's, you know, all he's there to do. He's killing because he loves killing. He's killing for the fun of it, for the thrill of it for him, and that's why he's doing it. And you know, I mean, I can't take away from the fact that he did a good job. I just don't care for his personality, and I don't care for later on him going and, you know, I thought it was really nice. I do remember seeing a picture that had all the just about all of the Leatherfaces in it. You had Gunnar Hansen, you had Bill Johnson, Ari Mihailoff, you had, you know, Bernarski. I can't remember if Dan Yeager from Texas Chainsaw 3D was in that picture. He might have been, but I don't remember. You know, it was nice to see a picture with the Leatherfaces in there, but then to have Bernarski turn around and just start, shit talking the other guys and saying that, you know, nobody played Leatherface better than he did, and always like, I was born to wear the mask, and you know, and on, and just over time, you know, we come to realize, like, you know, Andrew Bernarski was, you know, isn't really the greatest guy in the world, but he does do a good job, and I can't take that away from him. I would definitely say, as far as the villains go, though, Arlie Ermey definitely, you know, he chews the scenery, he steals the movie, you know, as far as the villains are concerned, and you know, he's very, very much, you know, just easily probably the most watchable thing about this movie. But like I said, you know, I think that I'm really happy that the people who made this movie loved the original film and cared about it, you know, and like Daniel Pearl, even though, you know, he had talked about, like, he took the job of filming the remake without even thinking about it, and he at first he wasn't sure about it, but he did do it, and he did a great job, you know, and I think that's the real reason this movie works, and it's definitely on the list of, you know, some of the best remakes. And I would say, yeah, you could put this movie in the same category as, like, Cronenberg's The Fly, Chuck Russell's The Blob, Savini's Night of the Living Dead. You know, I think you could put this movie on that same wavelength. But still, yeah, I really enjoy this movie. I know that there are people out there. One thing that I will say, though, is a genuine testament to the original film is most of the people that I've encountered that have said that they prefer the remake over the original, the reason why they do, and they've told me, is like, it's not because the original is a bad movie in any way. The reason why they prefer it, because the original is too scary, is too disturbing, is too unsettling to watch. Whereas, like, with this movie, from beginning to end, you know, you were very much aware you were watching a Hollywood-produced film, where the original movie has that kind of, you know, like I said before, it has that kind of like documentary, kind of snuff movie feel to it and stuff. And that's the thing. A lot of people like this because it's more comfortable. The entire time you're aware you're watching a film, you're seeing, you know, name actors that you've seen in other films. You know, okay, you've heard of Jessica Biel, you've heard of, you know, like Eric Balfour or Mike Vogel. You definitely have, you know, unless you've been living under a rock, chances are you've heard of Arlie Ermey, especially, you know, if you've ever seen Full Metal Jacket. So, you know, you have, you know, this name cast. The movie has a traditional score, where the original movie has the very unsettling score, which is more meant to be kind of like slaughterhouse sound effects and things like this. And that's the thing, but it does stand to a testament that this year marks the 50th anniversary of the original movie, and it still works. It's still a powerful film. It still scares the crap out of people. And like I said, the people that I've ever talked to that said that they actually prefer this movie over the original, it's only because the original movie is too scary for them to watch, and this is easier for them to take it in. It's easier for them to digest this movie than it is the original. So, but that being said, though, and as much as I'm not a Michael Bay fan, I do have to admit I got to give him props that, he did try, he really tried to make a good movie. He tried to make, a modest budget, well-made horror film that was, was a compliment and a love letter to the original film, and I can't take that away from them. And I'm just so glad that they did it, and they didn't crap on this. Unfortunately, they didn't do that when it came to the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, but that's another day. Sorry, Glenn. Sorry, Jason. I know you guys like that movie. I'm sorry, but still. Anyway, but yeah, I do recommend the remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I will admit, though, when it comes to, if you ever tell me, like, hey, let's watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you hold this one or the original up, I'm always going to go for the original. But, this is a very, very good movie. It's easy to sit through, no problems. It's really good in its own way. It took what was done before and, added its own flavor to it and everything, but still, showing the love and respect. So, yeah, 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There you go. So if anybody took the time to watch this, I thank you for doing it. I appreciate you for doing it. I honestly hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, would you mind leaving a like? And if you haven't already, please go and subscribe to the BodyBags channel. I'm the Friday reviewer. Everybody's doing great stuff, and hopefully, we were talking about more collaboration videos to do here in the future, more theme weeks and stuff like that. So, yeah, and that's it. And again, Rob, Sam, I hope nothing but the best for you guys. Take care, and take care of each other, and that's it. So take care, everybody. Have a good night. See you later.